These videos are so scary that they live in my head rent-free. Number 9. What is it about abandoned asylums that draws explorers to them? Is it morbid curiosity, the likelihood of a paranormal encounter, or are there just an abundance of abandoned asylums everywhere? The Proper People is a YouTube vlog series run by urban explorers Brian and Michael. Their adventures eventually brought them to an abandoned asylum in the middle of the night. The video was uploaded to their second channel, Proper People Vlogs, in December 2016. Their drive up to the building is enough to give people chills, as it is something right out of a horror movie. As the two enter the building, something strange can be seen through a doorway and down the hall from them. Something white. When the flashlight is shined down the hall again, it is gone. It is possible the flashlight illuminated something off a pillar or a wall, but it does seem strange it vanished. After venturing down a floor, a voice can be heard whispering, "Hey."
I don't even think this is a basement.
Which causes the two to stop. One of them believes he heard rustling, but could he be mistaking the voice as this? They then head towards a stairwell, and as they enter, a voice can be heard whispering, "I don't want to."
Alright, upstairs.
Followed by someone saying, "What's this?" and almost a whimper. Neither of the explorers seem to hear these, so it is possible it was just picked up by the camera audio. One commenter even claimed to have seen eyes in the woods just outside the stairwell, although he couldn't see anything. If there were, it is likely to be that of an animal since they are deep in the forest. As the two of them look out a window towards a fire escape, they spot someone standing near their car. As they turn off their flashlights, you can see a faint glow in the distance, flickering in and out of view. Soon it goes away, and the two believe it is someone on the property there to confront them. They decide to go back to their car but find nobody there. The two are convinced someone else is with them, and the light they saw was from a phone screen. However, the person seems to have vanished, and they both question whether or not they should be there with a random stranger also present. After some contemplation as to what to do, they see the light again and call out to see if anyone was there. At this point, they decide it is not best to take any more risk and leave. They did appear to capture some EVP and possibly an apparition during their visit, but the mysterious person watching them certainly is the scariest. Was it another explorer who got spooked and decided to remain out of sight, or was it someone with malicious intent? Thankfully, the duo decided not to find out. Number 8. Brooklyn Marie is a content creator on TikTok, posting funny and scary stories. Her most popular videos are related to her exploration of abandoned properties. The places are often left in very bad condition, with mold, damage to the walls, etc. At times, she has encountered rather terrifying events. In her most watched video, she finds a hidden basement in one home and decides to open it. As soon as she lifts the latch up, a bucket flies across the bottom step. She freaks and the door slams shut.
So I found this little basement. It's f***ing weird.
In the follow-up, she gathers the courage to venture down into the depths. All she finds is trash and dust everywhere, as well as the bucket that was thrown earlier. Nobody is inside, and she appears to be completely alone. Unfortunately, any orbs seen in the video have to be discredited as dust, since the basement is extremely dirty. However, she does appear to capture some orbs in a third video. She doesn't say it's the same home, so we will assume it's a different property. This time she ventures upstairs and right away an orb can be seen flying in the camera. Unlike the dust particles earlier, these orbs appear to have somewhat intelligent behavior, staying motionless before flying away. They also appear to be a mist of some sort, which trails behind them. Tell us what you think. The strange occurrences are not exclusive to the home she investigates. In a couple videos, she shows strange manifestations appearing on her mom's Ring camera. In the first video, it's to the far left and looks like a person standing. If you look closely, you can see what looks like arms, a body, and a head with long hair. Suddenly, it starts warping into strange shapes, as if it is about to fly away but instead comes right back. The camera picked up motion near the door and aside from a car driving by, which is too far to set off the motion detector anyway. Nothing else is nearby. Furthermore, there was another incident with the Ring camera later on. First, 2 identical orbs fly along the top left corner of the camera, leaving weird trails behind them and moving in unison with each other. She then shows earlier a similar entity appeared above their cars as the 2 of them were going inside. It makes a hard turn and then vanishes. It seems Brooklyn has a variety of different pieces to show and will continue to for some time. We will keep an eye on her content and hope something really compelling happens again. Number 7. Imagine being all alone in the middle of the ocean, only to discover you're not actually alone. Fishing Doctor's Adventures is a channel dedicated to fishing. Channel owner Brandon was out in the ocean, kayak fishing when his GoPro spotted something peek out of the water. As Brandon turns to its direction, it ducks back down and disappears. It's definitely hard to tell what it is exactly, but it does have the distinguishing feature of a round head. Considering how massive the ocean is, it could be a number of things. Brandon doesn't specifically state or claim it is a legendary sea monster, but is at a loss for what it could be. We must give him an applause for being a mile out from shore and not being freaked out. The dark water surrounding him makes it impossible to see anything below, and there's no land to be seen. It really helps us understand how sailors out on the open ocean for months, often years at a time without touching land, would start seeing things beneath the waves. Furthermore, the ones who never returned certainly spark the imagination of people back home, wondering what befell their comrades. In this case, it seems the explanation is much more simple. From the features that can be seen on the curious animal, it is most likely to be a seal. Big Sur Coast was where Brandon was filming, and the area is home to a variety of seal species, famously the elephant seal. In fact, the vast amount of ocean wildlife in the area is the reason. The famous Monterey Bay Aquarium was built to help educate people and to conduct research on various sea life living in or passing through the area. The creature had a rounded out top, much like a seal does, and behaved in a curious manner as seals tend to be. While it is certain to cause some nerves to go when briefly seeing one and not knowing what it is, it doesn't seem to frighten Brandon too much. While he didn't know exactly, he probably had an idea of what he saw. The ocean is a massive, beautiful, and intimidating place. Let's hope nothing sinister lives beneath the surface. Number 5. Franco TV is a YouTube channel dedicated to, you guessed it, paranormal investigation. Franco has done urban explorations at some truly scary locations. In April 2021, he ventured to the Auwani Hotel, a famous haunt and the location where the interiors for The Shining were filmed. The hotel itself is beautiful, but does have legends surrounding it. Native American artifacts are on display around the hotel, which have been claimed to be part of the reason behind the hauntings. After spending some time exploring where the most famous scenes were filmed, Franco makes his way to the second floor, where the Colonial Room and the Traysider Room are located, both meeting rooms to rent out. After finding the Colonial Room locked, he turns around to find the lights to the Traysider Room on. As he approaches to investigate, they turn off again. It can't be caused by a motion sensor, as Franco moved by it earlier without triggering anything. As they continue to turn on and off as he approaches, before staying on as he reaches the room. Nobody else is inside the room and the hotel is practically empty as most guests are sleeping. He decides to try and come back later to do a spirit box session, and as he leaves, the lights again turn off. Franco then discusses a story of how there is a spirit of a Native American man who haunts the hotel and the surrounding area, and is believed to be the main reason behind the haunting of the hotel. Eventually, Franco takes the elevator to the second floor, finding it almost pitch black except for his flashlight. He takes out an EMF detector and starts asking questions. Almost immediately, it starts flashing with life, going between a reading of 2 and 4.
Is there anybody here with me? It sounds like a knocking. Hear it.
The closer he ventures to the end of the hall, where the only other light is coming from, the EMF flashes more and more. He also says he hears a knocking noise coming from that direction, but it is hard to hear. Franco heads back down to the Traysider Room to perform a spirit box session. After asking for a name, Franco hears what sounds like a woman asking, "Who is this?" After asking if whoever is in there with him is making the noises outside the room, a very clear voice responds, "Get out." Followed by careful.
Careful.
Could these be two different spirits with opposing intentions? After asking how many are with him, another voice very clearly states 5.
5?
3 intelligent responses is pretty good, but it continues.
Are you within the building or is he within the building? Wandering the halls.
He asks if the ghost of the original owner is still there. A voice says yes. When he tries to ask if the owner Stanley is there, it's hard to make out what is being said.
Stanley, are you here?
However, Franco says he loves the hotel. A voice comes through saying good.
I love your hotel, Stanley. Good.
After this, he decides to end the session, wishing the spirits good night. After, a woman comes through saying good night, with what sounds like 3 others wishing a good night in different ways.
Oh, that gave me goosebumps.
Who could these other spirits of the hotel be? Hopefully someone can shed some light on who is still there and why. Number 4. Not all ghosts are unfriendly. In fact, most seem to leave us alone, wish no harm to us, and are often just as scared about their situation. There have been stories of ghosts being funny, entertaining, or just minding their own business. It appears this was what happened to the channel Technical Baba in April 2021. In the short video posted to YouTube, 2 people were surprised by their exercise bike pedals moving on their own. The video starts rather suddenly, which could be because they scrambled to get their camera to film. The pedals move for a good few seconds before they start to slow down and look on the verge of stopping. Then the camera cuts to a new shot and the pedals are moving rapidly again until the video ends. The video itself doesn't have a lot of views, 3 at the time our video was posted. Also, the description doesn't provide any information. The other videos posted on the channel are random and don't relate to the recent one posted. It's hard to say if they have experienced any activity before, but it is my opinion the video has been staged. The bike's momentum at the beginning is slowing down more and more, and then suddenly the camera cuts to a shot of it moving much faster. While this is just speculation, it would seem they stopped filming, started moving the pedals, and then recorded them moving on their own momentum. Exercise bikes, particularly older ones, are known to do this. If someone gives them a good crank, they can move for some time, around 30 seconds to a minute if it's good enough. This is just an example of videos to watch out for. On one hand, they show we need to go into such examples with an open mind. We are allowed to believe in the paranormal, but also remember not everything we see is evidence. On the other hand, skeptics should remember just one video like this doesn't disprove the many more examples of paranormal footage out there. Number 3. Loie Lane is a YouTuber and self-described as paranormal obsessed. In October 2018, just in time for the scary season, she and her friend London decided to investigate one of the most notorious hauntings in the United States. The RMS Queen Mary was once the pride of the Cunard White Star Line, providing luxury passage across the Atlantic. It operated from 1936 until its retirement in 1967. Since then, it has been in the ownership of the city of Long Beach in California, operating as a floating hotel. Despite being considered a top-class vessel, the Queen Mary has a dark side to it. During its time in operation, the ship logged 47 passings on board. Most were the result of natural causes. However, there have been some scary passings as well, such as a man who had his life taken under a mechanical door. Of all the rooms in the hotel, stateroom B340 is by far the most notorious. According to legend, during one of the ship's final voyages, A man took the lives of 2 women on the ship before he was apprehended and locked in the room. A guard was posted outside and heard the man screaming, claiming someone was in there trying to take his life. The guard ignored him and only opened the door when NYPD arrived to take the man into custody. When they opened the door, they supposedly found the man ripped apart. 3 of the staterooms were eventually converted into one, which became known as B340. In the 1980s, the hotel closed the room due to guests leaving in the middle of the night. It only reopened for booking in April 2018, although the hotel removed the markings from the door, as curious guests would wait outside the room all night hoping something would happen. Loie and London were able to reserve the room for the night, and quickly things got interesting. For starters, the room came with a briefcase containing tarot cards, a fake candle, a glass ball, and a Ouija board. To further prove the hotel staff are well aware of the room's reputation, there are instructions posted in the bathroom on how to play the game Bloody Mary. Right after the discovery, Loie and London hear a sound behind them, resembling a doorknob operating.
Yes, it is. No, it can't already be happening.
Did you tell me you heard that?
Nobody else is in the room with them, and it would not be possible for them to hide a third unseen person, as the only way out from where the noise came from is down the hallway they are standing in. Continuing the tour, the 2 note how there are encounter stories on the walls of the room. There's certainly something eerie about having to not only sleep in a haunted room, but also surrounded by stories from previous guests. As Loie is reading another story out, both her and London hear a noise that is unfortunately not picked up on the camera's audio.
When I turned to see if it was one of my
You heard that, yeah?
Yeah, what was it?
What is heard, however, is a breathing sound as if someone is sighing directly into the camera's microphone. The original noise they heard came from a door they showed earlier, one which doesn't function anymore. As London is telling the story of the legend, a knocking sound comes from behind them.
Boat docked and like his entire body was just like ripped apart limb by limb, and like each limb was placed.
It sounds either like a knock at the door or as if someone is trying to open the door. When London goes to investigate by looking through the peephole, the knocks happen again.
No, I don't like this. I actually like, no.
Is there someone out there?
No. Okay, actually no.
Where did that come from?
While Loie is unsure where the knocks came from, believing it was in the closet, it sounds more like the knocks came from the room's entrance. By now both women are freaked out. They acknowledge there are others nearby and even a party of some sort, but the room is located down a long hall, somewhat isolated. Furthermore, when London opens the door to investigate, they hear someone talking, but it's clearly from further down, too far away to have caused the mischief. This is only half of the first video they made about the Queen Mary, and already things are getting good. Check out the remainder for yourself, and if you want me to continue analyzing Loie and London's investigation, let me know in the comments. Number 2. Archivo Extincto is a Mexican-based channel dedicated to paranormal investigation. In August 2020, the channel decided to explore an old cemetery, but unlike other cemeteries around, this one has a large number of those who passed away far too young. As the duo makes their way up the steps to the main section, they pause after hearing sounds around them. While not picked up by the camera audio, or at least too faint to hear, something has clearly scared them. Let me know if you hear something.
Estar en un panteón. ¿Escuchaste? Sí. Uy. ¿Qué es eso, güey?
It should be noted they are outside, so it's possible it was simply an animal running around, since animals can be heard in other parts of the video. As they continue to explore, the sad reality of where they are begins to set in. One grave has toy cars left on it, a reminder of the people who are buried here. It's not hard to feel something at this moment, thinking of the anguish the families must still feel at the loss of a child, but it is also heartwarming to see people leave objects of fun and joy for the spirits to use. Not long after the discovery, the two hear a sound and start asking questions. They receive a reply of what sounds to be a whimper or possibly a giggle from behind them. After, it becomes almost completely silent, certainly sending chills down their backs. The sound doesn't resemble any of the bird or insect noises heard earlier, and the fact those sounds seemingly stop immediately after is both puzzling and spine-tingling. After taking a few minutes to compose themselves, the two carry on. Things stay quiet for some time until the cameraman hears a similar sound from before, this time right behind him.
Incluso en donde él duerme, nos comentaba que le han bajado. ¿Qué pasó? No sé, ¿se escuchó? Sí.
However, it sounds more like an owl or possibly a pigeon this time. Even so, we can't blame them for getting scared.
Y que la allá, güey.
As they are looking out towards the top of the cemetery, one of them spots what he believes is the flicker of a lamp. Sadly, it was not seen on camera, but the two decide to investigate the area. After some time without anything, they ask questions again, and what sounds like either feet shuffling or hitting the ground after hopping from an elevated place echoes from directly behind the camera.
No seas mamón, güey. Allá, acá. Acá abajo, güey.
Interestingly enough, from the latter theory, there is a drop right behind the camera. The two believe it sounded like feet rapidly rushing on the stone paths from below, but nobody else is around and anybody would have spotted when they turned around to look. Spurred by the sounds, they decide to do a spirit box session. Almost immediately after saying hello, a voice responds, returning the greeting.
Hola.
After asking for a name, they receive the response Kevin.
¿Quién eres? ¿Kevin?
This causes excitement from the duo and they continue asking questions.
¿Cuál es tu nombre? Luz.
As they move to a different location, another voice comes through seemingly identifying itself as Luz. The voice sounds different from the Kevin who came on before. Sadly, it seems they had no further responses as the video cuts away. Later in the investigation, they get their clearest response to the human ear. After asking another question, what sounds like a child responds from behind, jump scaring the cameraman.
Dime qué es lo que quieres, niño. Vete a la chingada.
The response is very clear and very close, and they believe it said Jugamos, meaning let's play. As they are wrapping up and returning to their car, they capture the scariest moment of the whole night. Standing behind them is an apparition with clear physical features, 2 arms, 2 legs, a body, and a head. Neither of them saw it at the time, but it is amazing they managed to document something so clear. From the looks of it, it appears to be an adult due to its stature. Could this be Kevin or Luce from earlier, or something completely different? I've got a challenge for you. Since you've made it this far, why not like this video and hit subscribe in the next 5 seconds? Because I upload 4 new scary videos every week. If you're curious about what I look like in real life, then go to my Instagram at DylanIsChillinYT and tap that follow button to find out. Number 1. Imagine yourself diving in a lake where trees grow but backwards. In Kennedy Lake in Kazakhstan, the apparent foliage of these trees are long and dark green, almost looking like Cthulhu's tentacles. However, if someone were to tell us these trees use the long vines to capture prey, we would have probably believed them. It doesn't help that the video shown here uses creepy sci-fi music to accompany it. This is also sure to be a thalassophobe's nightmare, since such imagery is enough to give anyone chills. Kennedy Lake is located in the Tian Shan Mountains, a heavily forested area in Kazakhstan. The lake has become a popular place for diving in the country due to the trees in it. However, and thankfully so, the reason for them being there and looking like they are has a much easier and harmless explanation. In 1911, a quake created a natural dam, allowing the area to flood with decades worth of rainwater and creating the lake we know today. The area is literally part of a sunken forest, the trees having stood there since long before the earthquake occurred and are now petrified as a result of the water. More amazing is many of them still have the needles they grew over 100 years ago thanks to the cooler temperature at the altitude. As for the long cosmic horror-like branches, these are natural algae growing off the branches. The space below is what allows them to grow to such great lengths. Overall, these trees are beautiful, with the crystal clear lake allowing light to penetrate deep down, providing an amazing blue light to accompany the dark green plant life. It is yet another reminder of how much natural beauty there is in our world, often unknown to a majority of people. One can't help but wonder what other similar physical features out there the world has to offer, something intimidating yet equally as beautiful. A picture is worth 1,000 words, so are these videos. From harrowing mountain climbs to collapsing dams, these are the top 10 scary moments caught on camera.